Hey everybody, and welcome back to Game Night Date Night, which is in contribution with Games and Couples. So Games and Couples do couple counseling, utilizing a lot of board games as a tool for in their counseling session or for a couple to connect and help them stay connected. So one of the things they've done is they've created a rating system that's going to help couples determine which board game might best suit them. Keep in mind, 1 is not bad, 5 is not good. It really just depends where you are as a couple. And this rates on 3 different things. The first one is conversation and connection potential. How much opportunity is there to hold a conversation and connect with each other as you're playing the game? Maybe you play game at the end of the day as a way to catch up with each other, so something that has a higher score here might be better. Or maybe things have been a little tense and flare up easily, so having a lower score might suit you best right now. There's also on the getting to know you. How much will be revealed about each other as you play the game? Some games definitely you can kind of get a feel of how your partner thinks, while other games they do their things, you do your own thing, so it's not as much revealing. And the last thing is potential for hurt feelings and conflict. Let's face it, sometimes most games are competing to have a winner, so then there's a loser, and depending on how the game goes about doing that, might have more conflict in the game. So every week we do a game of the week, and I try to have a theme each month. And when I was thinking of the month of March, kept thinking like the marching ants, so I decided to do for a theme insect games. So the first one that came to mind is Micropolis. Micropolis is a really neat game where you have all these tiny little ant minis that you have. These are your army ants, and you're building your ant hill, and depending on how everything connects, how it's going to score at the end. Now let's have a look at the rating. So for conversation connection potential, I'm going to give this one a 3 out of 5. So it's mid-range. You need to decide which tile you want to select, where you want to put them in your anthill, and you're kind of figuring out, it's like, okay, well, should I go for the different fruit, or should I try to go for the longest corridor, or so there's different things to consider. So because you're trying to figure out what you want to do, there's not tons and tons of room for conversation, but there is some. This is not a very complex game. In the getting to know you, I'm giving this one a 2 out of 5, most of all because you're not going to really reveal what you're trying to accomplish. And you build your own anthill, they're building their own anthill, so you may not be paying attention to what they're doing because it doesn't really affect you what they do over there, except if they take a tile you're hoping to get. Hurt feelings and conflict, 2 out of 5 again. There's not a lot of interactions between the anthill. You're working on your own stuff. The one thing that can happen is if they get the army ant. This will take the player with the most ant will lose an ant, and then the person who played the army ant will gain that ant. So that could be a little frustrating because you need your ants to accomplish different things. But let's have a look at the board game. So this is Micropolis. I didn't realize it was Bruno Cathala and Charles Chevalier that did this game, which I'm not surprised. It's a great game, and these are great designers. So in this game, you're going to have a row of tiles in the middle that you're going to be selecting tiles from. Now the first one is free. If you want to go to the second one, you need to leave an ant on the first one. If you want the third, then you'll have to leave an ant on the first and the second one, and so on. And sometimes there's different things you're going to be scoring on. So there'll be different fruit, and you score for each tunnel that you have that has the most different fruit. So you're trying to get a variety. If you're going to get the same fruit, then you're trying to put those in a separate tunnel if you can. There's also the queen. The queen scores for how long the tunnel is or how many tiles in the tunnel, but only if she's the only queen. If you have another queen in the same tunnel, it negates each other. There's also the nurseries, and the nurseries will have like different ant larvae, and then when you get that tile, it gives you a new ant to add to your army. It's just a really cute, adorable, puzzly little game. I really enjoy this one. We've played this quite a few times, but it's just so satisfying. Then the next game that we talked about in the month of March is Cockroach Poker. So theme wise, not as cutesy. And this is not just insects. I'm stretching a little bit here because there's also rats and bats, but most of them are insect. Let's have a look at the rating on this one. So for conversation connection potential, I'm giving this one a 2 out of 5. This is a bluffing game, so you're not going to reveal too much about yourself, so you're not really talking a lot, and it's just going to put a card and be like, okay, this is a fly, and then the other player has to decide whether, yes, it is a fly, or no, it's not a fly and you're lying. So if they guess correctly, whether you're lying or not lying, if they guess correctly, that card is going to go in front of you. If they guess incorrectly, it goes in front of yourself. If you ever get 4 of the same type of insect, you're eliminated from the game. So you can play this one 2 players. You can play this one more players. And if you're playing more players, you have also the option of looking at the card and offering it to somebody else who hasn't seen it before. So it'd be like, hey, this is a fly. And be like, look, it's like, yeah, she's lying. It's not a fly, it's a rat. So now that person is like, okay, well, one of you is lying. Maybe both of you is lying. Maybe, so because you're not both telling the truth, obviously. And then it's a really simple, super simple game, but oh, so interesting. So with this one, because you're just kind of passing in your, like you have to decide, are you lying, are you not lying? So you're not going to have tons of conversation while playing this one. Getting to know you, I'm giving this one a 4 out of 5. It's interesting to see, can you tell if they're telling the truth or the lie, even if it's just in a fun setting like this? Or are they going to bluff more than they're going to say the truth? And then how are they when they get, like, will they trust what you're saying or not? Like, it's interesting to see how your partner kind of deals with this whole situation. Hurt feelings and conflict, I'm giving this one a 1 out of 5. You're in complete control. You're the one who's going to decide, yes, you're lying, no, you're not lying. This is a bluffing game, so there's nothing really to be upset about. You're just hoping you're guessing right. And then this is what the box looks like. It's a small box. This is Cockroach Poker. My version is Cockroach Poker Royale, which is what the game in the pictures are, which plays pretty much exactly the same. It just adds royalty cards, and most of the time we don't even use that ability. We just play it regular Cockroach Poker style. And here's a picture of the game. So we have a frog, you have the scorpion, the rat, the bat, and the fly there. And there's like a dun bug, or like there's a few other bugs in there as well. The artwork is super whimsical and neat and bright. Like the artwork is really interesting. It's a really fun, quick game. So if you haven't played this one yet, I highly recommend that you give it a try. The next game that we talked about in the month of March was Apiary. So I decided to go with, let's go heavier. All the other games so far have been fairly small and quick and easy. This one is a crunchy game. This is there's a lot going on with this one. You're space bees and you're collecting different resources and collecting tiles to add to your hive that you're building. And there's just a lot more going on. But let's have a look at the ratings. On this one, conversation connection potential, I'm giving this one a 2 out of 5, mainly because there's so much going on. You're going to be busy. There's not going to be a whole lot of opportunity to hold a conversation because you need to pay attention to what's happening on the board. Getting to know you, I'm giving this one a 3 out of 5. Again, you're not going to be super revealing about what you're working on, but you can kind of see what they're doing. Like, are they going for tiles, adding to you could see the strategy they're concentrating on, because there's a lot of different ways to get points in this game. Hurt feelings and conflict, I'm giving this one a 2 out of 5. Now, one thing that's really interesting with this one is you kind of work together, because you're going to have bees. Now, components with this is super cool, but you have these bees that have like 4 different sides, kind of like a 4-sided dice, but you don't roll it. You just start with the level 1 bee, and you're going to put that into a location. Now, next person to come in, if they want to do the same action as you, they're going to take over your location, but they shove your bee into the second position of that location, and because the level of your bee will determine what you can do. So if I go in there with a level 1 and I'm in the map, then that means I can move 1 space away. Now they go there, let's say they have a level 2, so they shove my level 1 bee to the second position and they add their level 2 bee, now they add both of those bees and can move I by up to 3. Now if you're going into the tile laying, depending on the value of your bees, which tile you have access to, and then again you're going to add the values of both bees, so you're kind of helping each other without purposely helping each other. But then if you put like a level 4 bee, it's like, oh wow, great, there's a level 4. I'm going to go put my little level 1, but that's still a 5, and you could do more and have access to more things. Um, it's neat. Now, when you collect the resources, that's going to happen more on the map. This is also going to be the resources you spend to be able to collect the tiles, but you need to have space on your hive to place those resources. So you gotta, like, there's a lot of managing going on. This was a really interesting game. I quite enjoy it. It's definitely has a higher complexity. A Stonemeyer game, which is great components and well made, so I quite enjoy that one. Here's a picture of the box. So space bees. I'm not sure how they came up with this theme. I was having a conversation because when I shared the game of the week, it got shared around, and the space beam theme came up, and apparently it was based on a book that the designer had read. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what book that was or how she came about it, but it's a really interesting game. And here's another picture of the board. So you can see the different sections. So on the top corner you have the map, then you have the tiles. That yellow section, the yellow tile section, those are end scoring tiles that you're trying to get towards. And then at the very bottom section, those are when your bee levels up from a level 4, they get added, or you get to add a tile to that and claim a different kind of prize, but then it's area control there as well. Whoever has the majority of each section will score a certain amount of points. And then you have the conversion where you can go and activate like a bee dance or bubble. What is it called? Like bubble. Oh, it's gonna bug me now. But anyway, some sort of bee dance, and you can then kind of also pick as to what you want to do there. It's like, okay, well, I'm converting this type of resources in order to be able to make honey or to be able to make wax, and those are resources that are harder to obtain, but they're the resources you're going to need to be able to get the end of game scoring tiles. Such an interesting game. I quite enjoy this one. Let me know what you think if you had the chance to try Apiary, and if not, I highly recommend that you do, but keep in mind this is a longer game and higher complexity. Then the last game we talked about the month of March is the opposite of this game as can be, and this is Problem Picnic. I came across this game at a flea market, so I bought it. It's from KTBG Game, which makes really great component, adorable games. And I thought this one would be really neat and interesting to try. And the dice are so bright and beautiful and have little ants on it, so I was excited just for the dice alone. Now, conversation, connection, potential. I'm giving this one a 4 out of 5. You can most definitely hold a conversation while playing this game. This is a dexterity dice rolling game. You're just trying to roll the dice onto a card. You can have a conversation the whole time you're playing. Getting to know you, 1 out of 5. This game is simple and very much dexterity based, that it's not going to reveal a whole lot about your partner. And then hurt feelings and conflict, 2 out of 5. The main thing that can happen in this game is that they knock your really well rolled dice off the plate, and now you no longer have area control onto that plate. But here is a copy of the box. I mean, the artwork is just adorable. This is a smaller game. It plays super quick. It's a simple game. Like, it is just a quick roll. But this would be a great game to just chit chat as you play. Just something to kind of have on the table as you connect with each other. And here is the game. So depending on the number of players, how many picnic pieces, cards is going to be in the middle. And then you're going to take turn rolling the dice from your anthill, and you have different size dice, different shaped dice as well, and there's a bunch of end of goal scoring. So end of game goal. I can't talk today, but like, there'll be majority, so whoever has the most cookies will get the majority price, and that's put out every time, so the points are going to change every time. Whoever has the most blue plates is going to win, because once you gain control of a plate, you get that plate card, you flip it over, and then you kind of create this stacking thing. So it'll have the plate and ants on both sides. like on two side of it, and then you'll put that down, and when you get your next plate you have to cover one of the existing ants, and you're going to put that, and you're creating a bit of a grid with all these plates. And then on the green cards there, those are the different goals you have on how the placement of the plates is going to go. Sometimes you may want to have the most clusters of the same colored plates or of the same food, or maybe you're trying to have the longest amount of plates in a row, or different things, because it changes every time. You draw different cards every time. Super cutesy game, simple, fun. Dice are just beautiful. So if you like just tossing dice over a neat little beautiful looking game, this would be a great one for you. And that was it for the month of March. So be sure to follow us on Instagram. My Instagram page is Mel's_board_game_room. We also have Games and Couple. On Facebook, it's Mel's Board Game Room and Games and Couples Love in the Age of Board Game. And our YouTube channel, Mel's Board Game Room and Games and Couples Love in the Age of Board Game. Bye, everybody.